talking about executive presence, it is not an innate ability, it is something you develop over a period of time. Words cast a spell, which is a powerful spell. That's why we call it spelling, right? The first and most important thing to remember is your eye contact. Soft skills is the key. 38% happens through a paralinguistics. And what are paralinguistics? Are pitch, tone, volume, word stress, and pauses.
Radhika, we are so excited to have you with us today. So, before we dive into the conversation, please tell us something more about you and your life journey to begin with the further questions.
So basically, my journey began as I had done my fashion designing from NIFT about years back, and I became a fashion designer. And then, how I would incorporate looks for people when they would come to me, a lot from the corporate world, and they said, you have this knack, this very unique knack of bringing looks together and making people look powerful and feel confident, uh, you know, with what they don. So that's how I got into learning about image consultancy, and I did my course in image. And then I realized that there's a lot of need, when it comes to corporate trainings or in general nowadays. When you talk about any individual, soft skills is the key. So then, of course, it's like two sides of a coin. Your image and soft skills, when combined together, they can give you a 360-degree over makeover. So that
True.
is how I, learned about both. And now it's been almost about 22 years when I've been in the profession of transforming lives and changing lives and helping people also rewire their mind for success, for confidence, while at the same time helping them enhance their image as well. So this is what I do.
Well, that's amazing. You are doing great and just keep it up the way you are doing it. So, to begin with the very first question, as the topic says, what does executive presence mean to you, and how have you seen it make an impact in leadership roles?
So the three, if you think about the words in itself, executive and presence, if you separate the two, executive means somebody at power, at authority, and presence means the persona, how they are when they meet somebody or when they interact with everyone. Their persona, their charisma is what is their presence. So putting it exactly, that if you talk about executive presence, there are three pillars to think of. The first one is your appearance, the way you dress to impress and for success. The second one is your communication skills. How do you communicate? And are you rightfully communicating with people? Or is it you in your head, you're thinking you're communicating really well, but the message hasn't gone across to the other person like you wanted it to? Then the third pillar we talk about is gravitas. So it is CAG. Gravitas stands for your innate ability to stay composed and calm during stressful situations. How do you handle yourself? Do you inspire others and build trust in them? And also make sure that people who are under you do not fall apart during that time, because stressful times, like, it's a changing world. Yes, it's a fast
True.
paced world, so things keeps changing. So are you flexible enough, or are you intelligent enough to handle situations strategically and come out of it while building trust in the people who work for you and around you?
True.
So this is very powerful when it comes to executive presence. Your appearance, which is extremely important when you talk about what you don. So simply put it, we have a lot of levels of dressing right. However, when you talk about executive presence, it is always a matched suit. Whatever you're wearing, it should be matched. Your blazer and your trousers should be a match. They should look like the fabric should remain the same. And you can go maybe one step lower. with just a jacket on top, which can be a mismatched suit, as in your trouser can be a different color and your jacket can be a different color. So these two levels for executive presence, you should not go below this because it brings down your credibility. So
So
when
you're
you talk,
saying that wearing a mismatched trouser, or like many are wearing blazers on jeans. So is that acceptable?
so it is acceptable depending on where you're going, depending on the the occasion, which we will discuss a little later as well. But when you talk about executive presence, mostly in high stakes situations, or when you talk about high stakes meetings, it is always a matched suit, your trousers and your lower, and one level down is a mismatched suit, which also works depending on what the occasion is.
True, true. So you rightly said that this world is changing, fast changing world, and due to social media and this, corporate life, peer pressure, and peer pressure, and following the rat race. So it's a need of an hour.
Yes,
So
and
you
combining these elements. Sorry, I just wanted to add a little more.
please,
When
please,
you
please.
combine all these elements together, the amalgamation of all these elements is what helps you actually exude executive presence and shine in your own light, where you do not demand attention as a leader, but you command it with your presence. That is what true executive presence is all about.
Wow, that's really well said. That your persona will do the rest of thing. You will not have to put in the extra effort. So many
Absolutely.
times, many a times we have seen that just entry or just presence of someone can make a deal or even a break a deal. So that's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have explained about the executive presence, but the question is, can executive presence be learned, or is it an innate quality? Share your thoughts on it.
So when we talk about executive presence, think about it. When we are born, everybody is not an executive. So a lot of people say, yes, confidence can be something that you're born with. However, that is also a learned skill. It can be developed over a period of time with a lot of practice and hard work. So, talking about executive presence, it is not an innate ability, it is something you develop over a period of time, either by emulating the topmost leaders, who are are at an executive presence position, who you admire, learning from them, or by nurturing it bit by bit, climbing that rung of ladder one step at a time and improving yourself wherever there are blind spots and it's missing. Yes, over a period of time it can be developed.
Okay, so that's a great answer, that it can be developed. So what are the key elements uh, of executive presence that professionals should focus on developing?
So the key elements of executive presence, I've named three of them. Those are the basic, robust pillars that are a must-have. However, if you put it in another way, we can start with it's called an ABCDE. What I would include, where A again stands for your appearance, B for your behavior, including gravitas, which we will discuss a little more for everybody to understand what true gravitas is. Then we come to our communication skills, which is, of course, not only verbal, more importantly, non-verbal. D is your digital media presence, right? Your presence around it. And nowadays, the world is actually digital. More than face to face, people know exactly who is at a leadership position and what are you trying to say through your digital media presence.
Very true.
Then comes is E. E is emotional intelligence and empathy. How emotionally intelligent are you when it comes to filtering your words and speaking to somebody? Or are you somebody who believes that I talk like this only? I'm straightforward. but your straightforwardness has not helped the other person. In
True.
fact, the other person is feeling low and down because of it. So these are the strongest pillars you can think of when it comes to executive presence. And one another also I would like to add is strategic thinking, because it's a fast paced world and things are changing. It's a VUCA world. So people also need to keep that in mind, that during stressful times, do I have the right strategies? Do I stay composed as a leader? Can I inspire trust as a leader? Do people still have faith in me, or will they lose it in times of trial? So all these things are very important to ponder upon. So that is what actually makes up your executive presence, the key elements of executive presence.
Well explained, and you rightly said the E part, which is very nowadays trending, social empathy. Many a times what you are speaking makes you or breaks you. The recent social media controversies which is going on, and the
Absolutely.
yeah, so that matters a lot. So, in your opinion, how does confident communication contribute to executive presence?
So I'll ask you a question, you know, and I would like ask the viewers also to ponder on it. Now, when you think about it, people say when you're talking with words, we are communicating. Now, there's a very, very known and important theory called Mehrabian's rule, which states that 55% of our communication happens through our body language. 38% happens through a paralinguistics. And what are paralinguistics? A pitch, tone, volume, word stress, and pauses, in which your pauses are extremely important, and so is your tone, which mostly people forget or overlook. Yes, and the third one is 7% words. But how wrong are we? We always give more weightage to the words, and we think our job is done. It is like, if if I think of an analogy, if you think of a lyricist, he writes beautiful lyrics, but can a song be just created barely just on the lyrics? If there is no beat, if there is no music, will it actually resonate with the people around you? So
Not
similarly,
really.
yes, so similarly are the paralinguistics, which are extremely important. Your tone, pitch, volume, word stress, and your pauses, when all of these elements come together, is what creates a rhythm
True.
in your communication process, just like a song. So that is extremely important for people to understand and also imbibe and apply. And when you talk about communication skills, whenever we are communicating, people also with the words, people forget 55% is what we are giving to communication, to our body language, right? So when you talk about body language, is your body language in congruence with the words that you're using? Which means, is the message the same? Is your body language emphasizing the fact of what you're trying to state with your words? Are they in collaboration or are they in opposition? Your body language is saying something and your words are going elsewhere. So that is where, and whenever the conflict happens, people will always believe and give precedence to your body language over your words.
True.
So that is how also people catch, if sometimes we say, oh, I think he was lying, or I think she was lying. How do you know it? Psychologically, we are aware of it, that the
True.
body language is going somewhere else and the words are going elsewhere. That's why
True.
communication is extremely imperative to focus on, not only for executive presence, but in general day to day life, because humans by nature are social animals. And we've
True.
seen it during COVID times. People were still engaging, making WhatsApp calls here. Then nobody was sitting without engagement. And
Very
what
true.
is the process? It is communication. Even when a child is sleeping, if you think about it, you can make out whether the child is sleeping in a happy, Is the child happy? Is the child looking stressed? The child is not conversing, but his body language is definitely communicating. So we
True,
are
very true.
always communicating. There's never a time that we are not communicating. That's why it's imperative to understand the process of communication and how to excel at it. If you want to stand tall and shine out like an executive presence leader.
True, true, true. Even I have read one book uh, by body language by Alan Pease. So that also,
Yes.
says a lot about body language. Like the you said someone is bluffing or someone is saying wrong. So he said that while speaking, many has a habit of rubbing their
Yes.
finger. That is a sign of bluffing. That I
Absolutely.
used to observe that in
Absolutely.
many big shot interviews, many interviews by celebrities, they knowingly or unknown or knowingly do like this. So we get to know, yeah, he's bluffing. So there are
Absolutely.
few.
Absolutely.
So body language is something, it express your message even though you're not speaking.
Absolutely.
एंड आपने एक चीज बिल्कुल सही बताया था. मैं अभी हिंदी में इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ ये चीज, बिकॉज व्हेन वी थिंक अबाउट कम्युनिकेशन, सो वी ऑलवेज से कि कम्युनिकेशन इज इक्वल टू इंग्लिश, विच इज नॉट द ट्रू, because English
Yes.
is just a language. Communication
Absolutely.
is, what I've learned is, communication is what to speak, when to speak, and how to speak,
Very
with
well
the
put.
right
Absolutely.
with the right modulation, with the pauses, because many times pauses are killer. When you put a
Yes.
pause after a question and wait for the 5 seconds that someone will reply, that's a tasting period for the other person. So that makes it, or that gives you the result whether that person is really interested or there is something fishy or not. So yeah.
Yes. Very well put. Yes. Absolutely.
So the next question is on the body language itself. How can body language and non-verbal cues enhance or diminish one's executive presence?
So we'll think, let's create a scenario. If you are going, for a social get together and you stand in one corner of the room, okay, with your arms crossed like this, with your eyes looking down, and you're not paying attention to anybody. You may be a leader at a very top position. However, do you think people would like to come and approach you and communicate with you or exchange their cards with you? Yes, it will not happen because your body language is closed at that moment. So
True,
it is
true,
a deal breaker. So if you understand the basics of body language, that is open arms. When you're communicating, open arms are very inviting and approachable for the other person to come and engage in a conversation with you. The first and most important thing to remember is your eye contact. Now, if we change the scenario and if you're standing at one corner of the room again, and if your arms are open or maybe they are not locked like this across, your chest, and if you stand there, still engage in an eye contact along with a warm smile, do you think people will still come and approach you? They definitely will, because you're engaging with an eye contact. And if you engage with an eye contact and just nod, you've already greeted the other person. Automatically, the person will come and approach. So imagine just with a nod and eye contact and with a warm smile, you are more approachable. So these are certain things one needs to remember. If you want to be approachable, you have to showcase it. Maybe in your head you're thinking, why is nobody coming and approaching me? But is your body language saying that, yes, please come and speak to me? I would like to engage in a conversation with you. So these are certain things that one needs to remember, that it can be a deal maker or a deal breaker. Then other things you need to take care of is when you're engaging in a conversation with somebody, your eye contact, your smile, and make sure that you tilt your head towards the person. You're giving him a hearing ear, that's what we call it, which shows that you're interested in conversing. If you
true,
pull back, the person gets a kind of a message that the person is not interested. Or if you're looking elsewhere and you're engaging and seeing what other people are doing, it shows that you are not interested in the conversation. So the conversation will fall flat. People will not engage with you because they'll feel like nobody is there to hear you. Yeah. And secondly, is your body parallel to the body language of the other person? Are your feet turned towards the feet of the person or away from the person? If your feet are turned away from the person, that means you are ready to fly. In the sense, you're ready to leave the conversation, you're dying to get out of the conversation and go and engage elsewhere. These are certain cues or clues that we give through our body language to the other person, mostly unknowingly because people are not aware. Once
True.
the awareness is created, you can utilize it to your benefit, and it's extremely powerful. And I have worked on my body language for so many years, and I know how powerful and what a drastic shift there's been from where I was to where I've come, you know. So it's
You are
extreme.
not aware of it, but the if the other person is aware of it, and like other person like you, if he is aware of it, he or she is aware of it, then he will notice कि knowingly or unknowingly subconscious mind inka is not with me, or he wants to just escape. So that person will
Absolutely.
close the conversation and will relieve you immediately, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's imperative, it's very, very important to know these. If you want to become not only an executive, if you want to communicate confidently, then it's extremely important.
True, very true. That's the small things matters a lot. uh, Knowing, and you rightly said, many times we do this unknowingly because we are not aware of it. So that this was amazing. And the next question is,
Thank you.
what role does emotional intelligence play in cultivating a strong executive presence?
So, when you talk about emotional intelligence, what is true emotional intelligence? It is the power of filtering your language when you're thinking of communicating with someone. So for me, empathy and emotional intelligence goes hand in hand. That means you're keeping the other person, you're keeping yourself in the shoes of the other person, which is empathy, and accordingly understanding the situations, you're filtering words to put your message across instead of saying, I am direct. Everything for me is in black and white. I have to talk like this as a leader. It's not going to work to your advantage because sometimes words can hurt. Words cast a spell, which is a powerful spell. That's why we call it spelling, right? So, similarly, when you talk about being emotionally intelligent, you are holding the reins in your hand, galloping on the horse, however, controlling the pace and understanding what to deliver and what to hold back. So that is extremely important because that is how you can inspire trust. You can build trust. People will find you, somebody they can come and communicate with or speak to. No Hitler mentality works anywhere logically if you think about it.
True.
Nowadays, you have to have emotional intelligence and empathy. These are imperative qualities to hold. And also, they help you collaborate better with your workforce, being
True.
at a leadership level. Because people should not be scared of, like, people say, oh, I'm a leader. You don't have to showcase yourself. You have to inspire them as a leader. Leadership is not taking up a position and thinking I'm a leader. It's about how you're inspiring trust in people around you and how you're showcasing the vision. And through your words of encouragement, you're pushing them to achieve that vision.
Very true. So you rightly said, it plays a very important role, and in our recruiters, fraternity, it's been said that employees are not leaving company; they are leaving their bosses. So
Absolutely.
a right leadership plays a very vital role in organizations' overall growth. So and emotional intelligence plays a very key role to it, because लोगों को इमोशंस के साथ जुड़े रहना पसंद है, एंड दे फील, यू नो, व्हेन यू आर गिविंग अटैचिंग विद समवन विद एन इमोशंस, तो that gives a long term perspective to the entire uh, business scenario.
And also, Vipulji, if you think about it, even being a boss or a leader, you should understand that your employees or people who are working for you have their own struggles. They also have a lot of struggles they're dealing with. And you being in that position have to calm that down with your words, with your powerful words. And that is what fosters collaboration and builds that trust. Yes, he thinks about us or she thinks about us, which is imperative in leadership position, to think of your people, because that is what will matter in the long run. You have to inspire them and pull them along, not putting them down with your harsh words. So it is extremely important to hold emotional intelligence while communicating with everybody around you at an executive presence level.
And it's all about a give and take philosophy. You know, if you are giving importance to your team, or if you are giving importance to someone, you know, anyone, be it personal or professional, then in return you will get the same, you know. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
that's really very important. So moving on to the very next question, have you ever observed someone with exceptional executive presence? What stood out them?
So, talking about somebody I've admired as a leader and who has great executive presence is Mr. Barack Obama, the former US president. According to me, he was brilliant in handling himself as an executive. And again, coming back to the three C's, let's see how he has them. Appearance was always on point. There was nothing that would disturb you about his appearance when he came to events, anywhere, wherever he was seen. Where body language, very self assured, very well composed, and he walked and talked like a leader. Secondly, when you talk about his communication process, he was full of empathy and emotional intelligence. He would always be calm and composed while responding to even criticism and critiques around him. He would not react, he would respond. And thirdly, I feel when you talk about gravitas, which is again being self assured, staying confident enough, while at the same time, do not get frazzled when it comes to any crisis. He handled crisis really well, be it financial crisis, be it any other crisis. And that actually made him an outstanding leader because he inspired trust. People felt, even during, if you remember the time when the capture or the killing of Osama bin Laden, nobody in the world could think that that could happen. But it happened because the leader was strong. Even
True.
the SEALs and everybody, the 24 SEALs, the bunches of SEALs that were sent in the Black Hawks to capture Osama bin Laden, what eventually happened? They were so sure because of his leadership and his strategies that it can happen. So, a self assured or a confident leader can inspire others to take action in a direction that they want them to.
Very
It
true.
will never happen with a demanding leader. It will happen with somebody who can command it through their body, language, through their presence, through the choice of words, and of course, staying composed through gravitas. So these key elements, exceptionally, they were there when it came, during his time. I think he was an outstanding leader and brilliant. I really admired him, throughout for it. So yes, for me, it would be him.
So yeah, and that was, uh, you know, a global context. But if we speak in the Indian context, तो अगर अगर इंडिया की बात करें तो इंडिया में कोई ऐसा एग्जांपल है जिसको आप कोट कर सकते हैं?
So India may, I would say Narendra Modi to a very great extent, if you think about it, because the way he's collaborated with the countries, which has never happened before. You know, when you talk about the visas, how many free visas we have with other countries, and how self-assured he is. You will never see him, not being composed as a leader. Again, when you talk about gravitas, when you talk about his presence as a leader, when you talk about his words, they are extremely powerful. And just the stress on those words is extremely powerful. When he stands up and gives speeches, he's highly relatable. And also, the best thing about him, a good leader will not only show perfection in himself, he will also show imperfections in his life, which is his struggles. You know, that he was a chai wala, how he managed his life and how he grew to where he is. Because struggles really inspire people, because it's relatable. Emotionally, they can connect better with the leader.
True.
So,
It gives
those
an
are the
emotional.
qualities.
It gives an emotional connect. So yeah.
Absolutely. And today, also, if you think about somebody running the country, it's him, because people know his gravitas is very strong. He will stay composed and he'll pull the country through any crisis, which none of the leaders have had the ability to showcase in today's world. That
True.
is why, again and again, everybody wants him only at that position as the
True.
prime minister of our country.
True. True. He has the ability to walk the talk, and he.
Absolutely, absolutely.
True. 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 So, moving on to the next question: how can professionals project credibility and authority while remaining approachable?
So, when you talk about any professional holding credibility, the first and foremost key is that you walk the talk. When you say, I would do something, you have to stand by it and show it through your actions to be credible. Time and again, consistency is what will make people trust you. And consistency is the bedrock of all relationships. That is how connections are built, and that is how, even when you talk about contracts, you sign the contract again and again, it is with the trust. And where will the trust come from? When your words and actions go hand in hand, there's a collaboration. Not that you're very high and your words are very fancy and showing something, but the actions are falling short. That cannot happen for you as a leader if you want to grow professionally and showcase that you're somebody reliable. People can rely on you and trust you. Sorry. So that is extremely important. Credibility. When it comes to you dressing the part, remembering the 5 W's we call in image, that is what, when, whom, where, and why. Okay. Where are you going to meet somebody? What time of the day? Why are you going to meet? Where is the place that you're going to meet? And what is the reason behind it, right? So, all these together, if you think about and then pull something to dawn, I mean, your ensemble or outfit, whatever you want to wear, you will definitely be able to pull a credible outfit that looks like, yes, you belong there, or which showcases. It is also called something as art of semiotics. Semiotics means giving signs and cues and clues according to what you don as an individual. If you have two people standing on the roadside, Vipulji, and if one of them is wearing, torn jeans, hair is not done well, he has Walkman on his head, and he's standing and is shifting pace like this, and there's another person who's standing wearing a complete jacket suit, with trousers, holding a briefcase. Who do you think, according to you, from a distance looking at them, will be more credible?
The second one, of
The
course.
second one. That means clothes speak volumes about who you are, right? Even your credibility. So it is important to stress on that fact and remember the 5 W's. And then after that, when we talk about authority, authority comes through your clothes and your tone, your word stress, and your pitch. Extremely important. And people also forget about the influence of pauses when you're communicating. Whenever one communicates, people get hassled and they just want to rush an answer. No, stop, pause. It shows that you are in a pensive mood. You're thinking about what the other person has said, and you're giving weightage to it. And then you will choose words intelligently and answer. It shows credibility and somebody at an authoritative position who's so self assured that you can ask me any question, but I'll answer it in a composed, thoughtful fashion. I will just not answer right away with whatever comes to your mouth. There's something called as conversational threading, which is very important. That
True.
means everything should make sense when it's put together. And
It's like
so
a
many times, even if you've seen pageants, I train a lot of pageants also, and this is what I teach them, that you all get hassled because you all are not taking time enough to think. Focus, breathe into it for 2 minutes instead of creating stress, and you will be able to focus on what you should speak next. So give time and think and then answer. Do not just jump on the next question. Wait, pause, and then answer. And also, it also arouses curiosity in the other person, that what is the person going to answer, because of the pause you know so it's very, very important. When you talk about approachability, they have to remember, again, open palms is extremely important when you communicate. Even if you're dressing as a professional, make sure the level of dressing is not the highest, meaning that you do not have to wear a black and white suit, which is considered as the highest when it comes to the level of dressing, because of the strong contrast as well. Maybe an element like a little pop of color somewhere to show that you're more approachable, and also one can engage in a conversation with you. So these are certain things you need to keep in mind while being project credibility and authority, while at the same time approachable to the people.
so you rightly said approachable means, you are approachable, you are visible. So I've heard that, visibility is equal to credibility, and credibility is equal to profitability. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
and I have one counter question to this. You said that when someone is asking you something, take a pause and then answer. But many times in interview, in our recruitment process, many times we also observe that whether he is taking pause or he is spontaneously answering to the question. So we feel, so what I wanted to highlight here is you need to judge that this question I need to give a pause and answer, or this question I need to answer spontaneously, because many times a few questions are like that you need to answer it spontaneously. If you'll take a time, then the other person will assume that you have bluffed on it. So so how someone can take care of this?
So when you talk about interviews, there are already mock interviews that happen for them. They're already prepared beforehand for the questions to come, and eventually they add their taste into it, and something they want to add about themselves, and then they answer. So it can be given right away. However, even when a candidate is pausing, it is not only because they are thinking too much or they don't know the answer. Sometimes they are trying to get the right answer and to answer it in with a chain of thoughts and in the right way. That how can I put it across nicely? So these are things which does not break their thought process, or maybe they don't know the answer. Sometimes if they pause, doesn't mean that it's a complete stop for a long time. Pause
True.
means you take 1 or 2 seconds to think about it, try and concoct a beautiful answer in your head, and then deliver.
True. Well,
Right?
well said, well answered, thank you.
Because none of us are, it's not chat gpt that you throw a question and the answer comes out. We are humans.
True.
We need
True.
to ponder on it. We need to take time to think about it and then concoct the right way in which, again, filtering words accordingly,
True,
you
true,
know,
true.
rather than coming up with questions which where you fumble and you give a confused mixed answer.
Very true. So, talking about Gen Z's, young professionals, what strategies can young professionals adapt to develop their executive presence, early in their careers? Because a good
Yes.
beginning is half done. So, how they can create that first powerful impressions in their early careers?
So, the first and foremost important thing which I see with a lot of young professionals is that they are very reactive by nature. They have to learn to respond. So, emotional intelligence is missing maximum when it comes to them. And with little struggles with work, they tend to give up. So, giving up is no solution if, we talk about the creation of the light bulb. Yes, if Thomas Edison wouldn't have taken time and wouldn't have given, would have stopped at 999 times of trial and not given it one more last shot where actually he discovered the light bulb, how would the world get something so beautiful that was discovered? Yes. So it goes down in history. So if you want to truly work on yourself, forget giving up. Giving up is not a solution. You have to find ways to pull out of it and actually find solutions to it. That what can I do? Instead of questioning yourself that I don't think I can do it, start questioning what is the way that I can find out of it and make it work
Affirmation,
for me.
power of affirmations.
Yes. And even if you're not affirming, but that belief in yourself that everybody has to go through those struggles to reach somewhere. Don't see the tip of the iceberg. You don't know what lies beneath. You need to understand the hard work people have put in. If you go back to history and see anybody who's excelled in life, they've had their share of struggles, and that's what actually makes them shine. So remembering that and focusing on all ABCDs that I've explained about executive presence, learning about the power of image, power of soft skills, and if you cannot manage it, find a good coach, because there's
True.
nobody better than a good coach. And I'd say this, like, I had somebody, okay, somebody who's an AVP of some corporate, I won't name them, and they had this major problem that they could not find a solution to. So basically he was gay. There was problem that when he would go and walk through the corridor, people would smirk at him, laugh at him, and he got in touch with me and he said, Radhika, what can you do? Can you change this for me? What do I do? I am somebody at that position and I can't handle it. It's giving me a lot of pain and I stay stressed the whole time I have to enter that door. Imagine being at that position but still you cannot command that kind of attention. So we worked on his clothes and body language because he did not know much about it. We gave him padded shoulders, made him walk strong like a leader, and things, a lot of changes we made. So if somebody who's at that position and understands it can work with you, otherwise practice it on a daily basis, challenge yourself, give it a time frame and challenge yourself that now I'm going to work on my appearance, now behavior, now image. Start emulating, like I told, a leader. That is another way of doing it, or working on it yourself then if you want to develop it. These are the best strategies, but you need to stay consistent. It's not going to happen
Practice.
overnight. Yes, that is the key.
Practice.
Yes, that is the key. Practice it regularly. If you're communicating through email, through anything, or any sort of communication, ask yourself that question. Is it powerful enough? Like a leader, am I communicating what message I want to send across? Is it going across in the right fashion? If you start questioning yourself before doing it, it's going to work in your favor, and
True.
you will see a drastic improvement in shift bit by bit, one step at a time.
One step at a time. Well said. And it's multitasking is a good skill, but you should do one thing at a time. So
Yes,
that's
it
very,
doesn't
very
work. It doesn't work in
doesn't
real
work
life.
many times. True, true, true. And consistency is the key to success.
Absolutely.
Practice makes one perfect. So it's a, I would like to add upon here that you were saying about the listening. Listening is an art. Many
Yes.
times it's been said that we listen to answer. don't
Yes.
don't listen to answer, listen to understand, and then react with a positive affirmation के साथ कुछ productive reaction होना चाहिए. It's not like कि you are just listening to answer, you are just listening to counter. It should not be like that.
Yes, so mostly people listen to answer, to reply. And this I've seen in most cases, or they'll hang up. I've seen so many people hang up also. If they don't feel, you know, they can understand your words, but you're breaking the you're not learning the art of conversing. How will you handle things during conflict management, negotiation skills? All that comes through practice with communication, and it's imperative as a leader to learn to handle that intelligently. So an active listening is a very, very important part, because everybody wants to be heard too. Nobody
True,
wants lectures all the time. You want to be heard,
very
as a
true.
person who's working. And at an executive level, it's imperative to hold that. You should have that as active listening as one of your major traits as a leader. It's extremely important.
Very true, very true. So that was amazing answer to the question for, and it will be really useful to any, even it can be useful for every professional, not only to the young professionals. Yeah, and now the very important question of the day, according to me, that what's one actionable tip you would give to someone looking to strengthen their executive presence?
So, again, coming back to the same thing, if you cannot understand how to do it, you should start emulating somebody at that level. Emulating means start walking, talking like a leader who you think is highly admirable. Anybody at that leadership position, see how they talk, how they communicate, and how can you refine your skills, and understanding your blind spots where you're missing on it. So this is an exceptional tip to keep in mind, that start looking at somebody who's at that position, and then start deconstructing how they are behaving, their communication, their appearance, their gravitas, what do they hold, and understand those and start applying them one step at a time. So this is a very important tip if you really want to grow and reach that executive presence. And for others to take you seriously as a leader, we always say, if you're dressing for the same role, dress one level up. If you dress one level up, people are around you will start taking you more seriously and see you as a leader one level up. That's very, very important. So position up.
Well answered. So you rightly said, even you said that if you can't do that, then you can have a coach, a mentor. In our Indian context, guru. We can have someone who can uh, pass on his legacy on us, who has done it. क्योंकि
Absolutely.
that is very much required for anyone's success. So moving on to the final words, your concluding notes, your final message for our audience, your any takeaway, any tips, executive tips for our audience.
So there's one amazing tip that I'll leave for your audience, is that when you don't know what to do and you feel lost, every day just do this process what I'm giving you, and you'll see a drastic shift in your executive presence. What you need to do is record yourself for 5 minutes, your full body profile, record yourself, and now, firstly, you will notice how you're looking and what your body language feels like when you are seeing the video again. Okay. Then next comes your communication. You will put your phone upside down and just hear your words. Are they just bare lyrics that are playing, or the words that you're communicating actually has, a song playing with all the elements I had mentioned, your pitch, tone, volume, word stress? And ask yourself that question: where can I improve? Because you're only hearing your words, so you understand how is it going to sound to others as well.
True.
So that is the key. So these two things, if you can take care of and try and use, use your words in the sense, filter out the extra words like all the filters, the extra word, the filler words, sorry, not filters, the filler words that are there, please filter them out, so that your communication is concise, it's crisp, and it is exactly what you want to deliver.
True.
That's extremely important, and this is the easiest way. Record yourself every day and practice it, and trust me, you will send me messages in my inbox thanking you for it. However, consistency will come from you. It's a handshake between a coach and between the trainees.
Wow.
If you're consistent, it will work in your favor. I guarantee that. But you have to be consistent.
That was a great takeaway. Great. It's a very handy and very easy, technique to taste your or check your communication skill. And I will also put this in the comment box. You can connect with Radhika for she is having a session on 2nd of March, so you can check the link I put in the comment, and you can definitely follow her. Also, she'll be happy to help you, guide you. So this is her LinkedIn
I,
ID. I'll also put in that in the comment box, so you can also connect with her. Yeah.
I would like to add just one word, that this webinar basically that I'm holding, it's a 3-hour free webinar, where also I'm not only going to talk about your confidence, but how you can create a confidence loop with it, also rewiring your mindset for confidence. Because if your
Wow.
mindset is not correct, you can never become confident. How much ever you try, you will keep staying in that fearful stage. And this webinar will teach you how to make a shift from your fearful stage to a fearless stage. So,
Wow.
join it. It will be really, you'll have a lot of strategies and takeaways, not just all about only executive presence. It's a combination of rewiring your mindset for confidence, while at the same time learning more strategies for executive presence.
So from a fearful to a fearless
Let's stay.
stage. Yeah, that's amazing. Great. So yes, audience, you can check that in the comment, and follow her for the more details. So thank you, Radhika, for joining us today and sharing your amazing inputs. We really loved that, and hope to see you again on our expert talk show with some interesting topics. You are the expert into it, so something like first impressions or many other aspects of the
Absolutely, absolutely.
executive presence and grooming. So hope to see you again on our expert talk show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and it was a pleasure interacting with you, while at the same time leaving a lot of takeaways for your viewers. All the very
Yeah, it
best to
was
everybody, and see you all very soon. And follow me on my LinkedIn as well. Thank you so
great.
much, Vipulji.
Yes,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Follow Radhika on our LinkedIn, and thank you once again, Radhika ji. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful evening. Thank you.
You too. Take care. Yes, so audience, I'm sure you would have got so much from today's session. So बस ऐसे ही जुड़े रहिए हमसे. Follow us, follow our experts, connect with them, get their help, get their guidance, because they believe in sharing and caring philosophy. That's why they were here in the this session. So बस ऐसे ही जुड़े रहिए. Follow us, follow our LinkedIn profile, follow our YouTube channel, and every week ऐसे ही हम आपको मिलते रहेंगे. So wishing you a happy weekend. Stay tuned.